Welcome to Yep, Yeah, Yes with Marissa and Tamika. On today's show, we are going to be discussing midlife crisis. Real or nah? Does age matter? Not to be confused with the Middle Ages. Middle age. Anyway, what's up, Marissa?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm alright. Just so everybody knows, we're actually coming to you from the Midlife parking lot.
We're on
In a
location.
car. We're on location. Ready to see Beyonce and Jay-Z perform some of their well-known hits and a few others that we are not aware of.
How's your cough?
Does being fans of Jay-Z and Beyonce, does that now make us middle age? Like, are they?
Oh.
My cough is fine, by the way. I don't have one.
Oh man, are we officially in the Middle Ages?
Not to be confused with the Middle Ages.
Middle Ages. Middle-aged.
Middle-aged. Well, it's funny because I was doing a little research about middle age, and they said middle age starts at 45. I got another
45?
year. I got another year to be young.
All right,
So
hey
I can
girl.
twerk up until March 16, 2000
Listen, if J-Lo's still twerking or attempting to, if Madonna can do butt implants, you can twerk till you're 90.
I can twerk? Yeah, but my knees don't lie, you know?
Look at these dudes on the run tour. There's two gentlemen walking over, and they're clearly part of the Beehive. They have...
Take a picture, we'll post it.
Oh, they have bandanas. They have matching outfits. They have the walk like they're ready to do a Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce.
I know who runs the world there.
Holler. Anyway, so what are your thoughts about middle age?
Middle age. Listen, I told you I've been going through. I'm in the middle of my second midlife crisis.
What do you consider midlife crisis? What contributes to midlife crisis? Like what are do you believe to be the key factors in determining whether a person is going through midlife crisis or not?
Okay, remember when you were like 7 and you used to play that game where you fold the paper and it's like, you're going to be married by 20, you're going to have 10 kids by 25, you're going to have a mansion with a creek in the back. And then you think back to those games and none of that came through. And you might not be working, or you might have a job that you're like, kind of feels like a little bit of a dead end. And you haven't done anything fun in a while. And, you know, pants are getting tight again. You know.
Speaking of tight, so I came home from work today, right? And what is it about, like, you can be going through your whole day. The minute you pull up to the house, you got to go to the bathroom. So I pull up to the house, and it was hot as shit. I start pulling my pants down, the shit got stuck.
Your pants got
Yes.
stuck? Because you were like, wait,
because I was sweaty and I'm gaining weight, and they're too. I don't know if it's like I'm gaining weight or the pants is shrinking. We're gonna go with this pants is shrinking.
Well, the material.
Yeah.
The material gets sticky and doesn't have as much give.
But back in the day, I would have been able, like, a little bit came out before I needed it to.
You're definitely that's
middle age. Right?
That's middle age.
Okay. I was like, not yet.
You're screaming at your body, not yet.
Yes, exactly.
Oh boy.
So that's a middle age thing. But so I was doing a little bit of research about what middle age entails, and they were saying like it's anxiety,
right?
It's depression.
Check. Yep, got that too.
Not feeling content and where you, like what you kind of alluded to, not being where you expected to be at maybe 20 years from now. Yep. But when you think about that, isn't that every age?
I think this is a crisis. I think that's what it is.
Okay,
it's
Bethany.
Just a crisis. Oh, I saw a clip of Real Housewives yesterday and I can't stand her anymore. But I digress.
That was last week's show.
Yeah. I digress. Yeah, homie, it's a crisis.
So what tools are you making to ensure that you're not experiencing that anymore, I should say?
At the moment, none. I'm fully embracing it.
Are you enjoying it?
No.
Are you like one of those people that likes to be tortured?
No.
So when you say you're embracing it, what does that mean?
I understand that this is my slow descent to death, and I just have to come to the realization that perhaps life is not what you thought it would be.
Do you believe that middle age is a crisis? Is it real or not?
Middle age. Is middle age a crisis real? I think so, because I think you get to a point in your life where you're just like, where am I going? What am I doing? What's next? What is next? What is there to look forward to? What are you striving for? What are you working for? Do you still work for it?
I think it depends on what kind of goals you set for your life. When you look at your life, you take a look and you're like, all right, I've achieved this, and now I'm ready for this next chapter, or,
right, okay.
or whatever the case may be. I don't know. That's a difficult one.
I don't know. Is it real or not? It's definitely real. Are you going through a midlife crisis at different points in your life? I definitely know I went through one in my 20s. I'm going through one now in my 30s.
What about, I don't know if it's a crisis or it's just part of reality.
Oh my gosh, when you're faced with the hard, deep, ugly truth.
Right.
Oh, then if this ain't it, then what's a midlife crisis feel like? Maybe that's why my stepdad cheated on my mom.
Is this why older guys always get like a sports car?
Yes.
I think my uncle's going through a midlife crisis. He's been going through one for a couple of years. With a hood down in October. Like, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
don't say my car is topless. Say the titties is out. Yeah.
That's such a good line.
It was, right? It is. But yeah, I don't know if I don't know, like, obviously middle age is real. Mm-hmm. Midlife crisis can be real, but I feel like it's a crisis that can be put onto any age bracket. You know, there's 12-year-olds who are like anxious, have anxiety, depression, have all that stuff, and it's because of whatever. I think when they say midlife crisis, it's about the age.
The age.
It's like
but
not being able to accept
everybody lives to like 90, 89.
Right.
So where do we get the midlife? Or is it that just something that happens to you in your life at a certain point, and it's usually somewhere around 45 to 55?
I think the goal is for people to live to be in their 80s and stuff, but, you know, life gets in the way. I think more people are living to their 70s and 80s than ever before.
Agreed.
And I think 45 is a good time, because you think...
It's a good time to have a midlife crisis?
Yeah, because you've seen it all, you should have seen a lot. You should have done a lot.
Oh my gosh! And if you haven't, that's even worse.
Right. Like I'm happy with a lot of the things I've done.
Right.
In terms externally. Right. Internally, like I've mentioned many times, I wish I had a family of my own, husband, children.
Right.
I haven't achieved those goals. But in terms of travel, you know, check. You know, throwing up from all night drinking, check. You know, a one night stand, check. Wait, is it count as a one night stand if he calls you the next day and you're like, okay? Not really, right? Not that that's happened. I have actually had a one night stand, but that's another conversation.
But then what do you call that? A 2-night stand? A 3-night stand? I don't know.
It's a holla back, youngin'? I don't know. I don't know. But it's just, I think, like...
And talk about a compliment. When you get a phone call the next day, you're like, all right.
It's like a perceived one-night stand, and you get the call back. And they say to you, the best line is like, oh, I thought you gave me a fake number.
Oh,
and I'm like, no, I gave you a fake name.
Yeah.
What's your fake name?
My fake name? I'm so stupid and unoriginal.
What is it?
Marina.
Oh, yeah, that's...
That or I do Gloria.
Mine is Yolanda.
I do Gloria or I don't do Marina. Well, I'm married now, so I don't get to have one night stands. But
that could keep the pep in your relationship. Be like, honey, let's have a one night stand.
And then how long?
Like have a date. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Dress up, like you put on your makeup, because you know how you like to do your salsa, pop, spice it up. You put on your red and the dark makeup, your hair in a bun or whatever, or maybe it's out wavy.
I love the top knot.
Yeah, and then you like, honey, meet me at Olive Garden.
Yeah, but he can't call me Marina anymore because that's
No, no, you're going on a date. So,
right.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So he can call you Maritza.
Oh.
Or just make up a name. He can call you J-Lo.
Melissa.
I hate that fucking name. Well, you know what I'm saying though.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Spice up your life.
I was born every girl.
But I think sometimes when it comes to the midlife crisis, it's like when you recognize what you're focusing on that's not making you happy, and making the changes, the necessary changes, so that you can kind of change that around.
So, question for you, because speaking to other females, it's like this, mid-20s crisis, mid-30s crisis. I tend to see that more females have this, so that traditional midlife crisis with the sports car and then trying to get a younger girlfriend and all that stuff is more males.
Right.
Do you think there's a disparity? What?
Toupee.
Yeah.
Shave their head, or they shave it all off.
Yeah. Do you think there's a disparity on what they're thinking of? Because it's like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because it's almost like guys have to work for a certain thing, and once they get it, it's like, what are they working for? Now they got to work for like a younger one, or a sports car, or blah blah blah.
I think that innately both genders are the same in terms of what brings them to that midlife crisis.
Okay.
How they deal with it is totally different. For example, they both, men and women, I believe, think to themselves like, I'm not accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish. Right. I never got that car. Like guys, I never got the car I wanted. A woman's like, I'm not being held to like the beauty standard. So it might be like now she's like hitting the gym like crazy.
Right.
Whatever the case may be.
Right.
But and it's like, depending on your monetary status is what you do to make to compensate for that
for the thing that you didn't
achieve in life.
Interesting.
Like I always think about parents who have kids when they're like 16.
Ugh.
Like what happens when you're 21, 25? Like you basically, it seems like you're going through a midlife crisis, because now you and all your friends, or we even go beyond it, 35.
Right.
When they turn 16 years old, you have a kid, you turn 35, and now it's like all your friends already did the club thing, they did the shows, they did,
and you didn't.
Right. And so now you you're 40 or whatever, and you're going through your quote unquote midlife crisis.
But we gotta give that a different name. That can't be a midlife crisis, because that's the whole like.
But it is. It's just a different.
You didn't get so the inverse. You didn't get to do what the allotted time. The societal allotted time for you to do all these things, which is what, 18 to 24, 25.
Right. But that's basically, you can put it on anything.
A young life crisis.
Okay. But you're still going through your midlife.
Yeah.
And it's based on the things that you weren't able to achieve. And actually, when you think about a midlife, it's always about looking back on what you were not able to achieve. And that's basically what you started the conversation with. When you started alluding to when you were kids and you said, I'm going to have this many kids. Midlife crisis is about taking the time to reflect on what you didn't do in all this time. You had 45 fucking years to get it together.
And you didn't. Fucking loser.
I had 20 years to have a kid. 25 years. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh my God, that's killing me.
But no, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where, but if you don't know, because you chose to put your energy in other things.
Right.
And so midlife crisis to me is about putting your energy now into things that you wish you would have done then. Right. Like when you were 22, a guy's 22, he couldn't afford a convertible. No. So now he's like, now I can. Now I can. Oh. I couldn't get an attractive woman back then. Now I can. Oh. Whenever a guy gets a divorce, like he gets younger. It's feeding
into your insecurities.
Right. So.
Oh my gosh.
But with women, it's like, I raised these kids and they don't appreciate this, that, and the other. And
now I'm getting my boobies done. Yeah. Chi-chis are getting done.
Getting all
stomach's
that,
getting flat.
Right. Doing all the stuff to what she thinks will make her feel better, and in reality, it's not.
It's nah.
It's not. It's real or nah.
Real or nah. But there's some people that do feel better, like flat stomach, chi-chis up, facing the same direction.
It's funny because you saw that stuff with Kim Kardashian, like all these celebrities are coming at her on Twitter.
No, why?
Because she posted a picture of herself and at 119 pounds, and they said the comments from her sisters like, you look so good, you look so anorexic, you look great. And so people are like people are dying to get to 119. Like, you promoting
Yeah.
being that thin, and you're not really 119. So all these celebrities are like, when I was 119 pound, I was 20.
Right,
You know,
right, right.
or in high school,
Yeah.
or, you know, it's not
Yeah.
realistic based on your height and weight. It depends on, you know, your proportions.
Yeah. But
119
she's
for her.
5'2". She's right. Is that healthy?
I'm 5'2". How would I look at 119? Well, yeah, I guess I'm 119.
Where are you now?
I'm at 130, 135 sometimes.
Oh,
So
you
think
look
about,
like a skeleton.
you remember how like every time you look at pictures, you're like a sandwich away from like passing over.
Literally a sandwich away from passing over. Oh man, yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's not healthy.
But how is that even possible for her with her top and her bottom like that? How did that not move? That's my question. How does her top? But how does her top and bottom not move at all, and she can get down to 119? Because I know with my fluctuation, my bra size moves a little bit.
Yeah, but you don't have injections and all the money to make your shit not move. Like you said the other day, a few weeks ago, like her face doesn't move.
Her face doesn't move anymore.
Maybe she got Botox in her cheeks. Botox.
Botox. I just, you know what? I don't mind somebody having a fake anything. Like I know Cardi. I always keep bringing her.
I don't mind. But
I don't mind.
About
but
it.
She's real about it. Her boobies, her chi-chis, her booty, and her teeth. She tells everybody.
Yeah.
And I wear a weave. So what? Ha ha.
Exactly. So it's like one of those things. You know. And is Kim Kardashian going through a midlife crisis? Is she trying to be somebody?
She is.
Is she after having children?
Oh yeah, where she's not a mom. She's not a mom.
And then, what do you think? How do you think things are getting to her with Kylie? How do you think that's affecting, and Kendall?
Oh, with
how
Kylie
their
being
success,
a billionaire?
because even though they were on the show, they weren't on a show like that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
The things that she had to do, and everybody's always going to think of her as someone that slept her way to the top.
Yeah.
And they're going to think of the sisters that they rode her coattails.
Yeah.
Even though Kylie is about to be, you know, she's like a million short of $1 billion.
Yeah.
I wonder how that GoFundMe's going. But I wonder, does midlife crisis come in to play when you're thinking about what the next person got?
Yeah.
The grass is greener.
Yes.
Like you look at, there are people that look at what somebody else is driving.
Yeah, because you don't want to pass off the torch when you're not ready. When
But
you're
even-
not ready and it's taken from you.
But not even
Like,
passing on the torch, but looking at what somebody else, how people are receiving someone else.
Yeah, that shit hurts. Like you both did the same thing. You know,
Right.
I'm not saying Kylie slept her way to the top, but she did some things that were probably offhand to get more notoriety. But she's not going to be looked at in the same way as Kim with the whole sex tape thing.
Right.
So it's completely, that shit hurts.
But then you think about regular everyday people. They, you know, the neighbor sees that somebody else is driving whatever, or that their
I think that has an
lawnmower
effect.
looks a certain way.
Yeah.
Like when you get to a certain age, you're like, well, I can afford that. I'm going to do the same thing. Like this is going to fulfill me. And does it really fulfill you?
Yeah.
So,
But then you get
but
it,
is that
and then
real
it's
or
not
not?
fulfilling.
Because
Yes,
is it a
it's
middle
real.
age thing?
No, I think
It's a life thing.
It's a life thing because it's like, it's perspective. It takes a long time for somebody to have that perspective. When you see somebody two acquaintances I have moved from Long Island to California, and they were showing this beautiful home that they live in, and you're like, wow, they really stepped it up. But then it's like, but let's be all the way real with it. You're sharing that beautiful house with 7 other people, a married couple with 7 other singles. Like, okay, you're in a beautiful house, but okay, you might as well be in a studio. You know, it's one of those things that like, but if you didn't look at the whole thing, you would say to yourself, wow, what did they do? What did they do that I didn't do?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough thing. All I know is that I'm
You
about
gotta
to be
just
40.
happy for them,
All I know is I'm about to be 45.
and you look amazing.
Yeah, but you know, my eyebrows is on fleek. I know.
Your hair looks amazing.
My hair, I'm not feeling my hair, but you know,
I love it.
We're about to go to a show and it's supposed to rain, so you know, I can't have an afro out while I'm trying to sing, you know, single ladies. All the guys are looking for the single ladies, and here I am looking like, you know, Diana
froey
Ross
lady?
circa 77. Although 77 wasn't a bad year.
I want to.
Go ahead.
Midlife crisis is real. Yes, I think we need to take a moment and pause, just appreciate where we are, what we have, and just be happy for other people. Move forward. Like, we both can't pray for the same thing.
Right.
Like, think about it in a materialistic way. We both can't pray for that same house. One of us is not going to get it.
Right.
But
both of us might not get it.
Exactly. So, be consistent with your prayer. Be specific, but also understand that, sometimes your prayer is not going to be answered, and be okay with that, and be happy for someone else.
Right.
Continue that evolution of prayer and that evolution of work, because you got to put the work in too. It's not just about sitting in prayer, but also understand you might not like your situation, but God has a plan for you.
This is true.
And that's my preach of the day.
I likes it.
I likes it.
It's a little bit of a shorter show, so because we want to go see Beyonce do her thing, and Jay-Z, talking about it's a hard knock life, as they're, $1 billion in the elevator. But I digress. So we want to transition to that's trending. So the other day, like a day or so ago, Brett McMurphy, a writer, college football writer, came out with a Twitter post. It was the whole article that he posted on Twitter about Urban Meyer being complicit in these whole allegations with Zach Smith and his wife Courtney. Apparently Zach Smith beat up his wife, and the wife went to Urban Meyer, I think his wife's name is Shelley, went to Urban Meyer's wife and complained to her about what was going on, and it was radio silence. This happened in 2015. Now it's coming out, and Urban Meyer has been put on paid leave. Zach Smith's fired. It's a whole mess. So my question is, how do I put this? What is your responsibility in telling someone else's secret? Like what I texted you how I wanted the actual title, the question to be presented, because I want to be clear with it. I don't want to stray too far from what I was saying. But what was the actual text I said?
Urban Meyer, and specifically the responsibility of putting punishable offenses above what's good for your personal interests.
Right. So basically he didn't say anything, and I'm wondering, did he not say anything because that would taint his football program? He's one of the best coaches of all time.
But he's maintaining that he did not know.
Right. But how do you not know when your wife is told, and there's text messages proving the wife was not only told but shown the pictures?
What did she tell? Now
her husband?
Yeah.
You're married.
I don't tell him everything.
If someone came to you, if whatever your husband does, if somebody that he works with, the wife, came,
then I would tell.
And she came to you and was like, they're not together anymore. She came to her when they were not together and showed pictures. Like, I just don't want him to do this to other women, so I'm letting you know this is who you have in your employ. This is what he did to me.
But there's also a code of conduct. And in this situation, there's a code of conduct for athletes. So there was a violation of the code of conduct for athletes. Definitely Urban violated, because come on, let's be real. He knew he violated the code of conduct, the ethical code of conduct as far as domestic violence. It was a violation, period, point blank. You don't have to tell me more. That we don't need to prove whether or not he knew. But outside of a code of conduct, meaning let's say you just work in a random office and you find out that one of your employees beats his wife, or beats her husband. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough thing. I mean, one of the things somebody brought up today, I was listening to the sports radio, and they were like, the wife should be more complicit, because not only is she a nurse, so she has a responsibility,
right, as a healthcare practitioner,
but she's also an employee of the university. So it's your responsibility, and so is Urban Meyer. So they're both responsible.
Right. And so they both.
Right.
Oh God.
And then thirdly, someone came to you.
Yeah.
So.
But okay, are we using we want to look at this example?
We use this as an example. It's a tough example to utilize in terms of sharing with other life
because they
of
have
life.
a clear code of conduct between all of them.
But don't all jobs have that?
I don't think so. I don't ever remember
if a crime is being committed, you're not supposed to say anything
against the company. Yes, but here's the thing, though. There's no. I mean,
if you see somebody you work with, they shoot somebody and they show you the pictures.
But see here, well, shoot.
Or you see somebody beating their kids, you know what I'm saying? You think like, well, you know, there's no actual stipulation in the rules of conduct saying.
See, they always keep that gray, that
right.
little area in your HR packet gray for things like this.
It's one of your employees, one of your best employees. Think about that. Do you not see?
But then he's not my best. He or she are not my best employee.
No, employee in term.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You are not my best employee. You're gonna beat your kid. You're gonna beat your spouse. You're gonna beat your or whatever. You're gonna commit a crime. You are not my best. You can't be on this. You can't sit with us. You cannot.
So you're saying that you would say something?
I would take it further. Thankfully, I live in an at-will employment state where I don't have to give a reason to be let go. So in that situation, it would just be, you're gone. That's it.
What if by letting them go, your business suffers?
How much more would it suffer to keep them, though?
Nobody knows.
Listen, everything comes out in the wash. Nothing stays the same.
And that's what's happening. This is 3 years later, and it's coming out.
Everything comes out in the wash. Nothing stays a secret anymore. And what's even worse is, how is it going to suffer once the secret does come out and they found out I knew?
Right, and that's
even
why
worse.
he's going to lose his job. I mean, he's on paid leave.
But
because they're quote unquote investigating. But it's like sometimes it's like you're putting your program above what's right. You know, and you know how many people do that? Like, and apparently the wife, the ex-wife, she shared, because she just did an interview, she shared the email chain. All the coaches and their wives knew. Everybody knew.
Oh. How is this coming out now? Like, who got mad?
Somebody mad.
Who got mad?
Exactly. Because obviously the other coaches must still work there. Like, just
somebody got
stay
mad.
out of it. She got mad.
She got mad. Yeah. Y'all didn't do nothing.
Right.
I'd be pissed too, though. Like,
what?
You let this dude punch me in the face repeatedly, and you're really still not going to do it? I'd be so mad. I'd do the same thing.
They have the reporter asked her, did Urban Meyer, did Shelley tell her husband, Urban Meyer? And she's like, I don't know. You know she told him. She worked for the team, and she's a nurse, and that's her husband.
Ugh. He knew.
He says he did a press conference. He's like, I had no idea. What's he gonna say?
He's got to stick with it.
He got to stick with it. Deny.
Yeah, he might be able to squeeze out in this gray area if he just keeps denying.
Yeah.
But now his wife might not, because doesn't she fall under the same code of conduct as working for the university?
Right. I don't know what's going on with her. She's on paid leave too, but regardless, they're gonna have to pay her. They're gonna have to pay him so much money.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. I don't know. And you know, just so you guys know, we're gonna have actually a show where we delve into domestic violence in October, which is Domestic Violence Month. So we'll discuss a little bit further, and I know there's going to be other people that come out. There's going to be stories, which is sad to know that there's going to be other stories that come out of people that were involved in or experienced domestic violence, unfortunately. But it's definitely something that's plaguing this country, and sometimes you have to sit back and wonder, you know, what am I doing? Am I complicit? Yeah, exactly. So,
have you ever been in a situation where you have seen a significant other? I'm talking friendships or cousins. A significant other, you as an adult, a significant other act in a way where you're like, this may lead to something else.
Well, it was from the opposite. Well, okay, so I had a friend in college who was getting beat by her boyfriend, but she would never admit it. And then we were supposed to meet up, and she called me, and she said that he lived in New York. We went to school in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. She called to tell me that he had came to the campus and forced her into the van and took her back to New York and won't let her leave.
Oh my God.
So now I'm like, well, I'm like 19, 20 years old. I have no idea. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
You're a kid.
I don't want to say I'm a kid because...
But you are a kid. Look at you as an adult now. You see a little 19-year-old kid. What are they supposed to do? Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It was tough. So, I don't know. That's pretty much the main thing that I've ever experienced. I can't think of off the top of my head anything where I knew the person was the perpetrator of the violence. Like that person was close to me.
Right.
It's always been the opposite, where the person getting abused is
Right,
the person
I
I was close to, and it's always been a difficult situation for me because it's like I can't go through that.
I saw when my parents were getting divorced, or separating. Their divorce took forever, but anyway, I saw both of them beat the shit out of each other.
Damn. Let's save that for October.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a story.
It's a story.
It's a story.
Anyway, again, we apologize for a short show, but we gotta go out there and dance and get our groove on. And
I gotta learn how to twerk finally so I can twerk.
yeah, exactly. Got my knee cream on so my knees will bend. I'm gonna be looking right.
Grandma got on her Bengay.
But check us out on social media. Where can they find us, Marissa?
Yep, yeah, yes, 18 on both Instagram and Twitter.
Look who's come. Whoa, my baby's
So
growing.
at me, boo.
At me, girl. Until next week, you guys have a good weekend, and that's about that.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, wait.
What?
Tamika,
Yes?
I love you, and
You're
enough.
Bye.